As a scientific activity, tracking is fairly new, but in reality, mankind has always tracked animals, as we have always had the need to survive in nature.
Ya estás en rastro, Juan. Sí, ya está buscando. Vamos a ver si allí encontramos más adelante. Donde haya playa. Allá donde hay playa. Allá además que es fácil ver. Chechi, vamos.
We know that animal tracking was indispensable in the development of what we now call modern man. All of science's premises, or the foundations of modern science, are based on tracking, since it's based on defining a hypothesis, developing that hypothesis, and reaching conclusions. For experts, and for those of us who have worked at this for some time, that is the true origin of science. When I was a biology student, we were hired to conduct a lot of environmental studies. It was very difficult to enact a methodology like the traps we use today, as well as other devices that are now within reach but were harder to procure back then. I am talking about more than 15 years ago. We started to go out to carry out environmental studies for different companies that would hire us, and we started to gather a great deal of information. Eventually, we realized that we had a lot of data, records, and photographs of individual animals. This began as following tracks by seeking and following animals through their tracks, which make it possible for us to find them and to know if they're present in an area. If I find the tracks of a spectacled bear or a feline, that is irrefutable evidence that the animal is in the area. I cannot see it, but I can observe evidence of its activities in the natural environment. We noticed that people would talk about wild animals but never actually saw them. Unfortunately, here in the Valle, we know our wildlife when we see them run over on the side of the road, but we don't see them alive, which is what we really want. We want them to be alive and remain alive, not in a museum and not on the roads killed by cars. In the slopes of the Valle, we have been able to record felines. We have recorded coatis. We have recorded ferrets, curaçaos, quails, pacas, caterpillars, and some marsupials. More or less, we have a record of 25 species through the work we've done in this area. After a year of having the cameras installed in various areas of the valley, we have nearly 230 recorded sightings of 24 species. In some cases, we have yet to determine what is the actual species that we are seeing on camera. Provided we leave the devices longer, we think that this technique will help us visualize how these species move about their territory and where they're located.
nosotros encontrar cómo se están moviendo esas especies, dónde se encuentran.
We have new lines of inquiry, such as how well adapted are these animals to areas with extensive human presence, because we are very close to an urban area. So we would like to continue our research in the area, but to install a lot more equipment. The idea is to eventually have more than 20 cameras monitoring the area, so that we can obtain credible results that would allow us to propose acceptable conservation measures benefiting this group of mammals and birds.
Monitoreando continuamente el sitio para tener pues unos resultados que nos den contundencia para ya proponerme unas medidas de manejo aceptables sobre este grupo de mamíferos y de aves.
These birds are very flighty and very difficult to encounter.
Que casi no se ven, que podemos identificar fácilmente. Entonces, eso es lo que queremos en el tiempo.
So that is what we want to achieve in time.
En el siglo XXI,
tracking in the 21st century has changed,
recolectores,
and we have gone from being collectors or hunters to conducting research with these investigation methods and using the technology at our disposal. So, working with a dog is something that I would call one of the best experiences life has to offer.
Se trabaja profesionalmente, pues es mucho mejor, porque está logrando uno.
And when it's on a professional level, it's even better because you are achieving results. You are generating new knowledge through these activities, and it's an important part of one's professional life.